Oh my, here we are again.
Here we are.
Hello, we love being in your homes or your den or, let's don't elaborate, wherever we might be with you, okay.
Wherever you are in this world right here and right now, we are here with you.
We're just happy that you want to be with us, and we love your comments. Even though now in the green room we don't get a chance to interact with you, but we go back, we read them later, so let us know your thoughts. Also put in the comments things you would like for us to talk about. Because, you know, we've got the gift of gab here, all of us for sure. I'm glad your mug's wearing its mask this morning. That's very important. Yeah, that's
right.
Very important. You know, what we practice here at First Unity among our friends and our sisters and our family is we believe that, you know, you just address the elephant in the room.
Yes.
And I think that was one of the first things when I first came here, and the minister I was replacing, I love that, you know, he would walk up to somebody and say, "Oh, I've heard you haven't been feeling well." You know, because all New Thought communities I had been a part of before then would be, well, I'm not going to call it a cold, or I'm not going to call it that. I'm going to say it divine cleansing and all that. It's like, oh, please, come on. You know, it's okay to be human. Well, here at First Unity on Tuesday at 1:25 p.m., we said goodbye on this plane to one of our major staff members, Alan Armstrong, who had been with us. He had been here at the community probably 25 years or more. But I had the pleasure of being with him for 18. And so we have found ourselves in the throes of grief and in that space and that energy. And I've been finding feathers in interesting places and all that. So that's where we are, is that we're really feeling it in our hearts, especially today.
Yes. And there's no place on this campus that you can go where you don't see, feel, or hear Alan. Alan is a huge part of this community, not just the community, the property, because he was the property manager as well. So, you know, when you go to pick a flower, you're going to think, first, don't pick that flower. Two,
Don't pick that flower.
don't pick that flower.
Leave it.
But you're right. But you're going to. I was having a creative moment and thinking of a place where we could shoot a video. And I'm like, Alan's going to be done with the rose garden. But the rose garden is coming along very nicely.
It is.
But in my head, I had to wait for Alan to finish it. So it's stuff like that. He's everywhere here. And if I had anything to say about anything, I would ask for about this much of him to sprinkle around because he belongs here.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And this morning when the voices were in rehearsing and I got my first cup of coffee, I stepped out into the rose garden and said a little prayer, sending Alan along his new journey, because that's a place where he and I interacted a lot. When I first came on staff, I helped with renovating some of the rose garden, and what a wonderful project and wonderful space we have on this campus that rose garden is. And Matthew has picked up the torch and is bringing it right along.
Paula laid it out last year.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna tell you.
Oh yeah, she did.
She did.
She laid that garden
She
out.
dealt with it. And she handled it. But we believe here, and we practice, you're healed by what you turn towards, not what you turn away
Absolutely.
from. And grief isn't something that you can say, you know, tomorrow between 1 and 2, I'm going to deal with it. It knocks on your door. It often knocks on your door when you're not looking.
Yeah.
Just like it did for all of us this morning. We just walked in and went, whoa, you know, and so it's real important to walk through the phases of. And I know the stages are taught, and I'm familiar with Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and all her work. But at the end of the day, you know, the stage is where you're at and what you're experiencing, and remembering to connect the dots and how it all goes together. You know, so if you find yourself grieving something and you're not into a space of crying, then you may be projecting and expressing anger instead. You know, because maybe you feel more comfortable doing that, or blowing up, or allowing yourself to be overwhelmed, or whatever. But I do think it's significant for all of us that you are in the space when it calls you, and you allow yourself to be in it as best you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the key, is allowing yourself to just be and feel what you're feeling and the space you are in the here and the now, and then working your way through that, and just experience it and feel it.
Exactly. What about you, Ray?
Our family has a quirky way of dealing with tragedy, period, and we laugh through it. We find something funny, and we will crack jokes. At my grandfather's funeral, we would cry and lean over and say something to the other one like this, and they would fall out laughing, and we go back to crying, and that's just the way, you know, we deal with hard times. Is we have to laugh our way or find the humor around it somewhere. And I was sharing with Temple, she was telling me about the feathers that were revealing themselves to her. And I said, you know, my family was down and we were putting a bike together. What do you need to put a bike together? What type of tool do you need? So we're saying all day, pass me the Allen wrench. I need the Allen screw.
Oh, wow.
So all day, and I just had to stop and go, we hear you. We see you, we recognize you, and we love you. Just had to just stop and just go on and talk to him. And then that made the moment lighter. And we were able to, you know, just go ahead and finish, but recognize, we took the time to recognize him in that moment.
Absolutely. And well, I'm just thrilled that we're naming the sanctuary after him.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's very, very powerful. And you know what I feel is when I'm here in this community and been here a while, what I feel is I love the richness of what's been taught here, and not just by me, but by people we brought in, by guests that we have on the radio show. I mean, we are all about what is practical for everyday life. What is practical, not just to stay in the ethereal, you know, which is a wonderful place to visit, and like you, I can certainly go there. But to work with tools rather than rules, tools for our community. What I love is that nobody walks up to you here and says, I know how you feel. That's like a no-no. That's like, no, it's about, it's not, I don't tell people, I know how you feel. Even though, okay, I lost my dad, or I did this, or I that, I don't go, yeah, man, I know how you feel. I feel for you. I feel for you. I only have my experiences. Some of them may have been similar, but I feel for you. Because I think that was one of the things that I became aware of in my 30s, are that people mean well, but the inappropriateness of things that they say. Well, they're not really dead. I mean, that's why I didn't even want to post something on Facebook about Alan, because I didn't want to hear, well, he's still there. It's like, and, you know, they mean well, but it's like physically, he's got a new address and he's gone. You know, so it's that kind of thing that you don't walk up to somebody and say, well, or I love the, well, he's had a good life. And your point, you know, okay, and so so what does that mean? And if you listen, it's rarely about the experience, it's about the person shutting down their feelings. That's my take on it. They're shutting, they just want to fix it so they go away, so they can correct it, so they don't have to deal with it. They're just going to tell you some little platitude or something, and then they're going to move on. And you're going, did that just happen?
Yes.
Did somebody just tell me that? Or aren't you glad you have two other friends, because now you don't have that one? What? Go get a new puppy? I don't think so. You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
And go ahead. Go ahead. You and I are in unison today, aren't we?
If y'all were in race cars, you'd be You could do bumper cars then. Right?
It's your turn. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say we pick up when you were talking about how the person is actually responding according to their own feelings, and we pick up these. Oh, I wish I could say this word right. These colloquialisms.
You
know
said
what I'm
it
trying to say?
perfectly.
Okay, so
We don't
and these,
say long words like that in South Carolina.
these
That's a long
coined
word.
phrases, so to speak. Sorry for your loss. I know how you feel. These are things that we pick up from society to fix because we really don't know what to say. I watch a lot of detective and mystery, and they always, I'm sorry for your loss. You don't know me. And you're here for a whole nother reason. So no, you're not sorry for my loss. You want to know about, So we should. Sometimes a hug and silence is better. Let them look into your eyes. You look into their eyes, they get it. You don't have to say anything. Just, I'm here for you.
See,
But don't say if you don't mean that.
That's
I wish I could get my hair to do that.
and
Buy it!
I didn't mean to digress, but I'm just so envious of this beautiful stuff with your
Nubian
hair
knots.
all the time.
Yes, I just twisted it around. And
so
picked it up.
Alan, as our creative arts director for Arts 46.4, he was so creative, and he and Lynn created beautiful sets for us for our sanctuary. And Wanda and Lynn have come up with a beautiful creative idea for all of you all to participate in our Easter Sunday and also Alan's memorial service. So this week you're going to see on our social media, in our e-news newsletter, you're going to see a downloadable butterfly that you can download and paint or color however you would like in memory and appreciation and gratitude for all that Alan was to you. And then bring it back in. We'll put a basket in Lagatuda Hall. Spice Routes is open, and you can just bring that butterfly in and drop it in the basket, put your name on the back of it. And we're going, Lynn and Wanda and the volunteers are going to use those butterflies to decorate our sanctuary for our Easter Sunday service and for Alan's memorial that will also be on Easter Sunday. So be looking for that and download it, color it in, paint it, whatever creative genius strikes you in memory of Alan, in appreciation of Alan, in gratitude for all that Alan was to you.
And your own resurrection.
Yes.
Because if you avoid pain in your life, you don't get to be a butterfly. You have to go through the Coryllis phase of life in order for that divine transformation. We're excited to see you in just a few minutes in our Sunday celebration as we are broadcasting all over. And just be prepared to have time. Go get you green tea. Go get you some, go find a father, get some coffee, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Bless you.
Bye-bye.